Hi guys, Lone Vic here again, and tonight, me and my victory cat from my t-shirt are going to be telling you about parks and what a great game this is. So let's go hiking in the national parks of the United States of America. I've already made a video of how to play about this game, and I've already told you about the rules and everything. Now I would like to share my honest opinion, what's good, what's bad, and I'll tell you bluntly, I'm very satisfied with this purchase. I like this game. I was very dubious of pulling the trigger on this one. To be honest, I was waiting for a longer time before buying this. I don't know why. I don't regret it at all. And after this very big introduction, let's try to explain why, or allow me to explain why. So, parks. As you maybe remember from my how to play video, or maybe you've already played the game yourselves, this is a worker placement or hiker placement game that takes us through 4 seasons, and through those 4 seasons we are hiking through the national parks, different national parks, and trying to get photographs, memories, visiting those national parks, gathering resources to visit them, and scoring the most points. Now let's start with the good things about this game. So what I liked in general is that the whole inside of the box, the inserts done by Game Trays, is a great touch. I like how it helps with the setup and teardown of the game. Everything is in place inside the box and you can store it very easily. Doesn't get, loose inside and anything like that. The pieces don't go around in any way. This helps a lot, and I just love those trays for the resources. These from the game trays, you can see the one over there in front of you. You've got room for all your resources kinds. You've got the room for photographs as well, and it's shaped like a tree, like a branch. So it's very climatic. It's very thematic, and I just love it. So first, the insides of the box, the contents, the setup, and everything like that. The quality of the game when it comes to the graphics, the illustrations, this was my selling point, to be honest, because I haven't read a lot about this game before. I took a look at those cards, at those, there you go, those illustrations for those national parks, and you've got so many different ones. This is the set from the base game. Right, this is the set. This is the side with the photos, with the drawings. This is the set from the base game only, right? You've got also the add-on. So all those illustrations are great, and akin to Wingspan, you've got all those descriptions of when the national park was set up or what's characteristic about it, or at the bottom you can find out some interesting information as well. So it's great. I love the pseudo-educational factor of this. It is always interesting to read what's on the card and and get to know some new facts and information. So this is cool. So the graphics, the presentation of the game on the table, albeit as you can see it's very minimalistic when it comes to the size, right? It doesn't take too much space on the table, which for me is a plus as well for a game like this. And it helps with the setup and teardown and everything like that. So this is just one big plus. I like the simplistic graphics on the item cards as well. It's just great for me, right? What's next? The rulebook. If you take a look at the main game, this is the one, right? If you take a look at the main rulebook, it's 10 pages long, together with the solo mode and everything, right? It's very clearly written. The 1 or 2 rules have to be a bit analyzed in order to understand them better. At least in my opinion, they could be explained a bit clearer. But in all, the rules are simple. You can explain it to people in 5 minutes and you can get ready to play. Basically, there is not much complication here, but the say the gameplay itself is satisfactory, very satisfactory, and satisfactory would be a bad word, right? Because it's not that good and like in everyday language. So yeah, it satisfies you. It is you're you know, you're happy to have played the game. It takes around an hour of your time. So for a simple set of rules like this, it's not the it doesn't take that long of an investment, so it's good for beginners, but also people who like mid-weight games and like to think and plan their moves ahead will get their fun out of this game. Definitely the movement of those meeples around this track, around those those locations that you have to plan it out, and all of those locations will be very quickly occupied, especially if you're playing with a 4 or 5 player games. But even on 2 or 3 players, it gets busy very quickly. So I like that about this game. So a lot of pluses, basically. In my opinion, this is a great game, especially if you want to introduce somebody to some a bit heavier games with more thinking. This is great. But let's talk about the negatives for a moment. And for me, one big negative is that if you want to have the most fun out of this game, and you want to have the most tactical depth that those rules here in this rulebook allow you to have, you need to buy this Nightfall add-on. Without it, this game is a bit lackluster when it comes to one key component, and I'm explaining you already what it is. Those year cards that you have in the base version of the game, and year cards here are like those bonus conditions which allow you to score points at the end of the game, apart from visiting parks and taking photographs, right? Those year cards give you additional ways of scoring points, and in the base game only, if you're playing only the base game, those year cards tell you that, for example, well, if you have parks with 5 trees on them or something like that, you will get 2 additional points at the end of the game. Now, this game ends at around 20, 30, 40 points, more or less, maybe, when you are very aggressively playing and, reserving all those parks and everything. So usually those 2 points that you can get from a year card don't mean that much, really. And I found myself and a lot of people around the table when we were playing, we found ourselves like kind of not caring about those year cards at all when we were playing the basic version. Now, Nightfall expansion, the Nightfall expansion changes those year cards completely. In the rules of the game, you get a new deck of year cards like this, right? Those are the new ones, and it's cool that the designers of the game thought this through, and this new deck is vertical and the old one is horizontal, so you can't mix them up, really. That's a great touch. Well, it's got little things that make you happy in life, right? And this new deck, think of Wingspan and those goals that you get for collecting birds on those bonus cards, right? So here, those year cards scale together with how much you've collected. So for example, for every 2 parks that have something, you get 2 points or 3 points. So if you have 4 parks, you will get 6 points. And if you have 6 parks, you will get 9 points. And it multiplies. So it pays to collect. And you get a lot more invested in those year cards. And they can yield a lot of points at the end of the game. So there is more satisfaction if you're like careful, if you watch which parks to get, if you risk it, then this is great, right? There is a lot more planning with those year cards. Sure, those camps, those tokens here that you can see, also add a bit of additional actions that you can complete during a season, and those actions change between seasons, which is cool as well, right? This is a nice design touch too. But those year cards and the ability to have more than one and collect them pretty easily makes you kind of like, divide your tactics, because some people were sitting at the table and just focusing on collecting parks with the most points, and other people were like collecting 2 or 3 or even 4 year cards, and then they tried to score, and they were looking for parks that may not have the biggest point value themselves, but could yield them enough on those year cards to be worth it. And both tactics were very much equal when it comes to the chances of winning the game. So this is great, in my opinion. Now, the only other problem that I have with this game, and a tiny one at that as well, is like, you know, like with the other game that I was reviewing recently, which was Flourish, and a game that I thought I would like but I didn't really, which is Calico in the end, and Isle of Cats and a few others. There is a huge deck of parks here, and you know, they come out randomly, so you have to adjust your tactics to what's on the table right now. And sometimes if you have a year card, or the one from the basic game even, when you have to, like, you know, look for specific symbols that will score you points, and they never come, or they come in a very small quantity, that's the randomness for you, right? That's the randomness factor. You can't avoid it, I know, but for me, this randomness factor kind of sometimes can make or break a game for you if you're very, very unlucky. Luckily here in parks, it's a bit mitigated because those parks have a variety of symbols on them, and there is almost, I found myself only in a few times, a few turns basically of the game, in as many games as I've played with people and solo as well, that there were only a few places where I was really like kind of stuck because I had no park that was interesting for me when it comes to my tactics. But then you can at least grab a park that has the highest point value and have that, right? So it's not a gigantic minus, it's not even a big minus, it's not even a mediocre minus, it's a very small minus, but it can tick some people off. So just be careful about that, be wary of that, right? So to sum up, because I'm running the clock here and I try to make those reviews in 10 minutes around or something like that, on the plus side, if you need a game to introduce people into a bit heavier, more tactically positioning meeples and figuring out where to go on the map and everything, like on this track and everything like that, and, you know, resource managing and stuff, this is a great game because of the it doesn't overwhelm you with rules. It gives you a lot of room to maneuver, and especially with the Nightfall add-on, it gives you this additional zing that really helps. If and the graphics and the inserts and everything help this game immensely in how it looks, how it handles and everything like that. So seriously, go for it. Just remember, if you have the opportunity, and if you are not if you feel that you're not going to be satisfied with this kind of like lightweight experience, buy it together with the Nightfall expansion. Remember about that, because this is worth it. It's something that, in my opinion, could have been easily in the base box, and it would rock in this case. But right now, take the Nightfall expansion together with the base game. You'll be happy. Seriously, believe me. So this was Parks. Go hiking, visit those national parks, take a lot of photos, score a lot of points, enjoy the game, because there is a lot to enjoy in this tiny box. And see you next time. My name is Lone Vic, this is the Victory Cat, and this is Parks with the Nightfall expansion. So if you like this review, if you like this video, hit the subscribe button below, give me a like, it always helps. Click the notification bell if you want to find out about the new videos that I'm posting pretty regularly right now. Leave a trace in the comments. That's it from me for now. See you next time. My name is Lone Vic. Bye bye.